This is a very brief presentation, but hopefully will help you think again and review some concepts that we've already talked about and expand on them a little bit more. We've talked about a lot of the different assessment types, but right now we need to transition and start thinking about, as a teacher, what kind of assessment do I need? This depends on what you want your students to know. What you want your students to know will impact the type of test you create. This goes back to, are you thinking like an assessor or an assessment designer? This is important as we move forward to be certain that you not only have a balanced assessment system in your classroom, but you're also creating assessments that will get at the standards and what you want students to know. This is a graphic that you would see in Understanding by Design. The power standards, or the big ideas, are at the core. What's important to know and to do are the foundational knowledge and skills based on the big ideas. And then there's this whole area that's nice to know, that's enriching, it's worth being familiar with. So if we think about what we're teaching, what is core, what are the foundational skills, and what is just really nice to know. Now let's look at the assessments that correlate to that. For those deep, big ideas and the important know and be able to do, those are best assessed with performance tasks and projects. They're open-ended, they're complex, and they're authentic. Traditional quizzes and tests, those that are paper and pencil, selected response, constructed response, are better for those items that are worth being familiar with, or some of those important base concepts and foundational knowledge and skills. In this week's attachments, you'll find a document called the Assessment Staircase. This is an excellent document that we will be using, and I would like you to look at. This looks at the different levels of Bloom's taxonomy and matches it with the type of assessment that is most appropriate for measuring that level of Bloom's. This will help you, as you design assessments, to be certain that you are designing the correct assessment. We'll look at several different methods as the course continues. Another critical part of assessments are the words that we choose, the verbs that we include in our assessment items. This is a wonderful diagram that can help us build better assessments by using better verbs. You also will have a PowerPoint in this section of this week's lesson, and it also includes another list of verbs. Whichever one works best for you, that's fine. What I want to do is provide you a variety of different tools so that you can find those that are most beneficial to you. But looking at the verbs in the questions as you analyze your tests, as you create tests, will also give you insight to the depth of knowledge your assessments are testing. Something you also must consider is what is acceptable evidence, so that you have a preponderance of evidence that shows if a student has achieved the desired understanding, knowledge, and skill. If you have taken a course and there was one assessment, that probably was not a preponderance of evidence. It was a do-or-die assessment. Our classroom should be different. We should be providing a wide range of assessments so that we do have a preponderance of evidence to show what our students have learned. When we are creating assessments, it is very critical that we live out this phrase, that students can hit any target that they can see and that doesn't move. This is our responsibility as teachers. We must provide students the target. They must be able to know it, hear it, and see it clearly, and we need to not move it. If we keep these in place, students will have a better job of succeeding in their learning.